Hey everybody, Angry Iceberg back with you, and it is video number 3 where I get to open up some Kaldheim pre-release kits with some guys from my play group. It's been a lot of fun opening packs with them and hearing what they think and seeing their reactions to the cards that they're getting. And in this video, I have Jacob, which is our group expert on Commander. He's the one that kind of brought the enthusiasm for Commander to the group, and he's really helped us, build up our decks. And he has a lot of great insights into Commander and how to use some of these cards maybe in the Commander format as we open up these packs. I think you're really going to enjoy this particular video. So without any further ado, let's go crack some packs with Jacob. All right, here he is. Once again, it's pre-release day. This is video number 3. My buddy Jacob here now with me. Of course, all 3 of my buddies letting me open up their pre-release Kaldheim kit here. We've already done Nick and Trevor. Unfortunately, I don't think, I haven't edited these videos yet. I don't think you can hear either of those guys talking, but we fixed that problem, and you should be able to say to hear Jacob react to his pack. Say hi, Jacob.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me, man.
So there you go. All right, so let's just get right into it and see. Of course, Nick did amazing after we checked in on things. We realized he really did very well on his pack. Hopefully Jacob does equally as good. Is there anything specific that you have picked out that you're hoping to find in this pre-release kit?
Yeah, so I want to get a Vorinclex or a Valky.
Okay.
I think running Tybalt is pretty much a win.
Right.
And then Vorinclex is pretty much a win. You drop that, you're probably guaranteed to win. I don't know how he'll interact with the sagas that you get, though, so I'm a little worried about that, but I don't know if there will be a non-bow there or not.
All right, so you get the almost bone white die here. That's actually pretty neat. I haven't seen one of these ones.
I like that. I'm not usually into the white dice, but that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to take out, make sure it's not the, nope. All right, so yours is not a modular, your promo, so we're just going to hide this up here for now. We'll take out these other cards so that those codes don't go on. Put that there, and your 6 packs.
Yeah, let's see what we get.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go with pack number 1, Kaldheim Prerelease Kits on pre-release day. Recorded here on pre-release day. Draugr Thought Thief. That is a hard one to say. Say that one 5 times fast.
Draugr Thought Thief, Draugr Thought Thief, Draugr Thought Thief, Draugr Thought Thief, Draugr Thought. I can't do it.
There we go. All right. Grim Draugr. All right. Blind Monster. Wait a minute. What? That one's up.
That is what?
What?
Have you not had that with the previous packs?
No, we haven't.
That is crazy.
No, I think we had one that was actually upside down like this, but it was right side up.
Screwing with us? What is this? All right. Well, hey, flip it.
And it is Duskwielder. Wouldn't it have been great if it was like some really good card, or like maybe they slipped something in here. It was like accidentally put a Black Lotus in there. It's like, oh, surprise, you got a Black Lotus.
I mean, I would have settled for a Vorinclex, but that works too.
All right, smashing the 6. All right, so Rootless U. When the Rootless U dies, search your library for a creature card with power toughness 6 or greater. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. So it's a 5/4 for 5. Not bad. Yeah. And then also when it dies, you can try to replace it. Not too bad.
That's actually pretty good, yeah.
Ooh, look how pretty that is.
Ooh, I know this card.
Ice Shaper. That is pretty.
I am excited for this. Yes, go for it.
All right, so Swella Ice Shaper, it's basically a 3 casting cost. Pretty cheap. Create a colorless snow artifact token named Icy Monolith with tap to add 1 mana of any color. That's for 3 mana to create that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
And then 6 and 2, 6 and a red and a green. And tap it to look for the top 4. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot. I saw that card when it was released.
Yeah.
And I was very excited to build around it, so I'm looking forward for that for Commander.
Yeah, for sure. And this one, I mean, like, I've seen a lot of these really good cards that are warriors. But no, so if you're talking about like warrior tribal stuff like that,
Yeah, isn't there a lot of troll tribal cards?
Trolls.
Or is it giant in this set?
there's giants. Yeah, I think.
Okay,
Well, there
okay.
are trolls. There are trolls.
Okay.
But yeah, there's trolls and giants.
Yeah,
and
warriors probably
warriors.
more common.
Yeah. Berserkers, stuff like that.
Ooh.
Frenzied Raider. When you activate a boast ability, put a +1/+1 counter on Frenzied Raider.
Very cool. Boast is a big deal in this standard format.
Yep. Glorious Protector, flash flying for 4. When it's a 3/4 for 4. When Glorious Protector enters the battlefield, you may exile any number of non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Protector leaves the battlefield, and you can foretell it.
I like that. So the cool thing about foretell is that you put it away during your turn. You can cast it for its foretell cost another turn, and you can actually protect your own creatures with this from like board wipes and removal. You know, in case it's like your big splashy spell you don't want to lose or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, I think foretell is going to be big. I mean, because that basically allows you to play these as any card basically with foretell as a
Absolutely.
instant speed. So all right, here we go. First rare. Maybe not. Oh wait, that was the rare. Never mind.
That was
an
the
idiot.
rare. Yes.
Okay, still that's good. All right, and then
Very
the
good.
beautiful snow-covered mountain there, and then the Viking zombie.
Zombie berserkers. Wait,
Yeah,
that's
zombie.
I didn't really check out all the Kaldheim leaked stuff.
Yeah.
All the spoilers for it, so I didn't know that we even had zombie berserkers in this set.
Yeah, that's a cool token.
I
Pretty good
like
one.
it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna use that a lot.
All right, pack number 2. Yoink. Okay, Warhorn Blast. Other various. Ooh, that's pretty. Look at that.
Snow, tap for mana. Its controller adds an additional 1 mana of any color. Very cool. We
Yes.
get cards like that all the time in Commander that are very effective. It's is that 2 and a green?
And it's 2 and a green. Yep.
Yep, that's really good.
And so, and I guess I
Casual
didn't
stuff.
mention this before, is that for our play group, Jacob's like the resident Commander guru guy. So he plays a lot of Commander. He's kind of bringing that. Nick, who's still here, he's just kind of hanging out, checking us out. He's like I said, our modern guy. And Trevor, he's like the newbie who's also trying to relearn like me.
Mm-hmm.
So or I should say newbie. He's newer, but he's been playing for a while. Annul, poison the cup. Destroy target creature. If this spell was foretold, you get a scry 2.
That's really cool.
That is really good. That is actually really good.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Because I mean, you could just put that away real early.
Absolutely.
Just have it hanging out there, and then there's like, oh, I got this creature. Well, it's no longer alive.
Especially in like draft. I mean, Commander, it's probably just a regular removal spell.
Right.
But in draft, I mean, 2 mana on turn 2 is pretty expected. And if your opponent doesn't have anything going on, it's pretty easy to go 2 mana, foretell this, and then later on, you not only remove something, but you fix your next 2 draws, which can be really important in the mid to late game.
Yep. And dude got poisoned by like some pretty nasty mead here.
Yeah, that looks really weird. I like the cup he's drinking from. That's a hell of a horn.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty dope. All right, so this is our first saga so far. Nico defies destiny. So first chapter, you gain 2 life for each foretold card you own in exile. That's interesting. Add a white and a blue. Spend this mana only to foretell cards or cast spells that have been foretold. Okay. Return target card with foretell from your graveyard to your hand for the 3rd. All right.
I like it. So you gain life, which is really good in blue-white. Azorius kind of likes that. You gain mana, so it's a form of ramp as foretold is concerned.
Yeah.
And then you get to do another foretold card again by getting it to your hand.
Yeah.
So a lot of value in that. That's a really good saga.
Okay. Then we got Colossal Plow. That is interesting. Like the first thing I thought, of course, when I hear plow, I think snowplow. Any rate, so for it's a 2 casting cost vehicle. Whenever Colossal Plow attacks, add 3 white mana, and you gain 3 life until the end of turn. You don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. So it costs 6 to or no, tap any number of creatures you control with total power 6 or more.
Yeah.
Okay, so vehicle that's been around for a while. Or is this a new?
So it's
mechanic?
relatively new. So it came in during Kaladesh,
Okay.
which was a very artifact centric block. And so the way that crew works is that you'll tap any number of creatures you control, and as long as their power is the number you need to crew for,
Yeah.
the vehicle becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. And so this one is going to be a crew 6.
Yeah.
For 6/3.
6/3. Yeah.
And then when it attacks, you get 3 white mana, and then you gain 3 life. Now I'm not sure what's in the set, like by name or specifically. I can't think of anything triple white or any combination of like colorless and white
Right.
that would benefit from this. But a 6/3 in limited is still a 6/3. So
Yeah.
the only downside is you need 6 power, and at
To-
that point, why aren't you swinging with that 6 power instead of the crew card?
Right. Now, can these block without doing that, or do you still have to do the to create a vehicle?
So there's no
do whatever.
restriction on it. It would say something like crew as a sorcery. But in this case, you can actually block with it if you need to block. Say you have a bunch of like 1/1 or 2/2s, and you don't want to lose like 4 creatures.
But you still have to tap those creatures to create the block.
You can tap the creatures, block with the 6/3, and then I mean you won't get the effect because it's an attack effect, but no worries.
Right. All right. And here comes the rare Calamity Beaver. I mean, bearer.
Calamity Beaver.
It's a Calamity Beaver. It's a giant berserker for 4 mana. If a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. I've seen some giant cards. I think that a giant deck is definitely very formidable, possible. I think it's I'm gonna be interested to see more giant stuff.
Yeah.
And what can be done with that. But that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool effect.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, even if this is the only giant that you run, he is then a 6/4, in context.
Right.
And so he'll deal 6. It takes 4 to kill him, so he'll trade with like 2 creatures in limited.
Yeah.
Maybe a creature or 2 in standard. It's gonna be really interesting to see how giants are utilized.
And actually, this is the one that actually made me start thinking about giant decks.
Yeah.
It was this particular card. Now that I think about it, so I mean that's a pretty cool pool. I think there's going to be some interesting fun decks to be made with that particular card.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to pack number 3.
I'm pretty sure, by the way, too, Throne of Eldraine had some really cool giant cards as well.
Cool.
So it's still in standard if I remember right.
All right. Yeah, and I do have a Throne of Eldraine box picked up today that I'm gonna go.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to opening that sucker up. All right, Brian Barrow Intruders, our first common. And if you see anything you want to take a look at, we can drag up Demon Bolt. 4 damage to target creature, foretell it. Okay, so you can foretell it for 4 and make it just basically a 4 credits and cost Lightning Bolt. Well, 4 damage, guys. For any rate, for creature and player. All right, I'm thinking too much. All right, let's get back. Where did I? Okay. It's getting late, folks. Inga Rune Eyes. When Inga Rune Eyes enters the battlefield, scry 3. When Inga Rune Eyes dies, draw 3 cards. If 3 or more creatures died this turn, it's a 3/3 for 4.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean you get that scry effect. Probably not going to get the There's a good chance you won't get the secondary effect.
Sure.
But yeah, so 3/3 for 4 with scry 3. Okay.
Yeah. Scry 3 is pretty big. It's not so bad.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely sets you up for future turns, of course.
Yes.
When Runed Crown. Okay, so Runed Crown. That's pretty artwork. Let's take a look at that. A little bit closer look at that.
I wish that was foil. That looks great.
That would look pretty dope in foil, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So 3 casting cost equipment. When Runed Crown enters the battlefield, you may search your library hand and or graveyard for a rune card and put it onto the battlefield attached to Runed Crown. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and equip for 2.
So I haven't seen. So I've seen some of the rune cards.
Yeah.
They're, I believe, enchantment runes, and I can't remember their effects, but I remember being very impressed by the new mechanics. So this could be very viable even in standard if you want to run a rune centric deck.
Well, and this we had talked about in the previous video about there was that one equipment where I was like, well, this is confusing, where it gave lifelink. It was I think it was a white one where it gave lifelink, or if it's attached to an equipment, if it enchants an equipment that gives that other thing lifelink.
Okay.
I guess Anyway, so that's cool though. I mean, I can see some play out of that. Some fun stuff going on there. Speaking about runes, Rune of Mortality, enchant. So this is kind of the thing I was talking about here.
Oh, okay, yep. It's good that we have a rune right after too.
Yep. So Rune of Mortality enters the battlefield. Draw a card. As long as enchantment permanent is a creature, it has Death Touch. But also it gives if it's on an equipment. So if it's attached to the rune crown, it gives the equipped creature Death Touch as well.
Okay, so that's really cool too. So you get to interact with your equipment. So one of the pitfalls of auras has been that if you put it on the creature and the creature dies, the aura also dies.
Yeah. So that's a good point. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. All right. So here's our rare. We might have a foil in this one.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is our rare.
I'm hoping we get a good one.
All right. There we go. King Nefari's Betrayal, a saga rare. Each player mills 4 cards, then you may exile a creature or planeswalker card from each graveyard.
Yes.
Until the end of turn, you may cast spells from among cards exiled with King Nefari's Betrayal, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast those spells. Gah!
Yeah, really good. So each player mills 4, which means that between the two of you, that's 8 cards.
Yeah.
So you deny someone 4 different top decks in the late game. That is brutal. On top of being able to use it as if you could spend mana of any color on it, you get a lot of reach with that, and you hit your own stuff and don't lose your own stuff. So for 2 turns, you have the free reign in the mid to late game to do basically anything you or your opponent would want to do.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's pretty strong. Yep. Okay, so Woodland Charm and okay, it's an uncommon.
Ooh.
It is a saga.
A fake Bayou.
Okay, some cool art there. I think this is another one of those. I wonder if this is one of those carved ones too. It looks beautiful in foil.
It does.
So Fall of the Imposter. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. That's your first 2 chapters. And the final chapter, exile a creature with the greatest power among creature targets opponent controls. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Removal in green-white can be a little scarce, I imagine, because green in standard and draft usually is in the fighting mechanic or just getting rid of artifacts and enchantments. So it's nice to see exile a creature among the options you have in draft.
By the way, this product's for age 13 plus.
Those 12-year-olds gotta wait.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like PG-13. All right. Seize the Spoils kicks us off with our commons. Mammoth Growth. There's those giant growth variants.
Mm-hmm.
That's a foretell one too. Oh, I think I see another common in the back, or foil in the back.
Good stuff.
All right, Shepherd of the Cosmos got the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis type effect going on in that artwork.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get it out of the light here so we can see. When Shepherd of the Cosmos enters the battlefield, return target permanent card with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Ooh.
You can foretell it for 3 and a white.
Forget the foretell. So this card in Commander, as far as I understand, can go infinite with Safi Ericstoder. So, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, yeah.
Safi Ericstoder is a green and a white for a 2/2 legendary human soldier. You can sacrifice her as an activated ability to, when the next time a target creature would die, return it to the battlefield under your control. So what you can do with this, this looks like it works. So you can have Safi and Shepherd of the Cosmos on the battlefield. You can sacrifice Safi to her own effect to give Shepherd reanimate till end of turn. So it sacrifice it to another, free sacrifice effect like Greater Good or Carrion Feeder. And then Shepherd comes back, brings back Safi. Safi can then sacrifice again to make Shepherd of the Cosmos come back when you sacrifice it the next time. You can do this to loop infinitely with things like Ultra the Brood, Zulaport Cutthroat, and Blood Artist to win the game.
Look at that.
That is huge in Commander. Now, there are, cheaper ways to do it. Shepherd of the Cosmos is 6 mana, whereas,
But you can actually, you can do it for 4.
You could.
Because of foretell.
You could. Definitely. And you can put it away, too, so you can't have someone, go through your deck or your hand to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So you can protect it in the exile for a while.
Yeah.
So this definitely gives you options in like a more budget to like middle of the road type of way. I don't know. There's some interesting options when you get to have another infinite mana or infinite combo outlet. My apologies. For commander. So really cool because Safi can be a commander. And so opening your hand with like Shepherd of the Cosmos and some mana dorks is an easy way to end up winning that game.
Nice. Guys, you hearing what Jacob's talking about? Like, if you agree or disagree, let me hear what your thoughts on what Jacob just talked about with Shepherd of the Cosmos. Let me hear about that in the comment section, guys.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Inner Storm Skullkarn. This is one of those lands where it comes into battlefield tapped. You can pay or use it to pay for a black mana, and then sacrifice it. It deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards a card. So for 4, you get 3 damage and a discard for 4 mana.
Yeah.
And a sacrifice. So that's pretty cool art, though.
It's sorcery speed. It's only
sorcery speed. Yeah.
1 more red than Blightning, which we had back in Shards of Alara, and that was part of the Jund deck, which dominated at that time. So interesting to see it come back. I like that it's on a land. There's interesting synergies with that in Commander as well, where you can bring lands back from the graveyard.
Right.
Yeah. We played a game like that.
Okay. Turgrid's Shadow. Mm-hmm. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures, and you can foretell it for 2 and 2 black.
Very cool. That actually is Barter in Blood. With the foretell cost, Barter in Blood was 4 mana for a sorcerer that does this, so it's nice that this is an instant that does this.
Right.
But the foretell cost makes it like a 4. It's the same as Barter in Blood. It's cool. I like it.
All right, and our rare Halvar, God of Battle, our first modular card. Creatures you control that are enchanted or equipped have double strike.
Ooh.
At the beginning of each combat, you may attach target aura equipment attached to a creature you control or target creature you control. So you can just move stuff around willy-nilly.
Yeah. You can move, 1 per combat.
Well, yeah, but still.
That's still super good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So it's a 4 casting cost, 4 forge, number 1.
Yes.
That's already pretty good.
Yes.
And it's a mythic too, by the way.
That's so good.
So yeah, that's pretty straight and gives double strike.
So one of the things that people complain about in like standard is like, well, if it doesn't enter the battlefield and do something right away, it was a waste of your mana potentially because someone could just untap and kill it. Well, this is if you go pre-combat main phase, you still get value off of it, and then you can attack.
Right.
And so there's actually a lot of value in Halvar in that regard if you run an equipment deck, especially with the runes.
Yeah. That's pretty badass.
And you can't reattach auras without something like this. So this is actually pretty cool too.
Okay. And all right, so it's the flip card part of it is legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance. Whenever equipped creature dies, return it to its owner's hand and equip it for 1 and 1 white.
I like it.
Okay. Pretty solid. Highland Forest. Just a tap dual land. No other things going on. Pretty nice art there. Pretty good looking card.
Great.
And our foil is a null. That is a cool foil. Oh my god, look at that.
That's cool.
That is really nice.
So especially in Commander, because artifact and enchantment spells are huge. Things like Copy Artifact and Isochron Scepter are massive in CEDH. So is that another Zombie Berserker?
Zombie
Get
Berserker.
that thing back over here.
Yonk.
It's so
You're
cool.
gonna put this null on the Zombie Berserker, and it's gonna be the best combo ever. No, that is a really good looking
really
foil.
Gucci. I like that.
That is pretty.
That's even if you don't use it, it's still nice to sit in your binder and just look pretty.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, that is really nice. All right, 2 packs left.
We still have 2 more to go.
We still have 2 more to go. Look at and we haven't even looked at the promo yet.
I know. There's so much to do with these pre-release packs.
So we've got so much room for activities. Raiders Carve. Let's just look at this. Look at that nice long
Another
there.
really cool
Longbow.
artwork. This set is amazing with the artwork.
The artwork is pretty great. Whenever Raiders Carve attacks, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it on the battlefield tab. And it's a crew for 3. That's pretty good. 4/4. It's a 4/4 for only, for a crew of 3. That's pretty solid. It's
Yeah.
3 casting cost. Okay. Beholding Multiverse. That's a cool card. I like that art a lot.
4 mana. Is it an instant? Oh,
It is
yes, that's
instant.
very good, especially with the foretell cost.
Yep. All right. Revitalize. Scorn Effigy. All right. Great Hall of Starnheim. Comes
Ooh.
tapped. It's another one of these. So this is one of the cheaper ones we've seen. So 2
Yeah.
white and a black. Sacrifice it. Create a 4/4 white Angel Warrior creature token with flying and vigilance.
All right,
That is not bad.
Spending 3 mana and sacking a land you don't need for
Right.
a 4/4 flying vigilance. It used to be 5 mana for a Sarah Angel, and now it's 3 and a land. I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, that's pretty solid right there. Of the lands of this style, this is definitely one of the better ones we've looked at.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because so
You
many
can
of them
end the
seem
game
so
with it.
expensive.
You can
Yeah,
end the
for
game
sure.
with it is the big deal.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
and
with
it doesn't
the-
take long to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, like by turn 4. I mean, you could have this at what well. I mean, you could have with ramp and stuff, depending on. I mean, there's not a whole lot of ramp right in white and black.
I mean, you could just turn 1 tapped,
yeah,
untap with it, have a black source until you don't need it anymore.
yeah.
One of the worst things about playing in limited is like drawing a land in the late game and feeling like, okay, like I guess I just lose. You know?
This should be over here. I don't know why I put that there. Or actually, no, this goes over here. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna put Halvar up here all by himself because he's dope. All right.
Ooh, okay.
Carter's Vicious
This is cool.
Return.
I feel like this is gonna be really good.
Is this like are all these sagas? No, this one can't be.
This one wasn't
Isn't it
carved, but it
Well,
looks
no.
really good.
I mean, it'd be dope if it was carved.
It looks like Justice League Unlimited, or like the artwork for Justice League, the old
Okay.
cartoon.
Yeah.
It kind of gives me that vibe.
Okay, so you may it's 2 colorless, a black and a red. You may sacrifice a creature when you do. Carter's Vicious returns. Oh god,
Carter's
I can't.
Vicious Return.
Yeah, it does 3 damage to any target. All right, sack a creature, deal 3 damage. For the first chapter. Second chapter, each player discards a card. Third chapter, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until your next turn. Dear God.
That's really good. So I'm excited for this one. We've already pulled up some interesting Rakdos and like Orzhov cards. Those lands are really good.
Right.
I don't think we've pulled a lot of Boast cards, so like one of the other red cards is kind of dead. But this is interesting because it says my graveyard, but I can fill my graveyard with any random card. It doesn't have to be red or black. It can be blue, green, or white.
Right. Yep.
And so I can put that one white Halvar. I can put Halvar in there. I can put that angel from earlier in there. So there's options here that are going to be very interesting to see how it works out. And
Yeah, for
haste
sure.
just changes up the way combat damage is because a lot of people aren't necessarily prepared to deal with a creature that can attack the time it comes out.
Yeah. And I mean, of course, it's a forecasting cost, so it's going to come out a little bit. You're probably looking at least turn 3, maybe 4 to get it started. So you're still looking at maybe turn 7, right, before you get this effect. So, and it has to last that long. But I mean, it's still, you can have anything, like anything that's in your hand you can't cast. It could be like a 20 casting cost thing. You bring it out,
Exactly.
like any of those big creatures, like those huge gigantic creatures that are almost impossible to cast. You can bring it out with a +1/+1, and it has haste.
Yep. And it
Beautiful.
doesn't go away.
Yeah, and it doesn't
gets
go away.
haste
Yep.
until in a turn, but it stays.
Right.
Another thing to consider is some of the lower cost stuff between like 3 or 5 could be really effective with this because you just want the ETB effect again.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like it.
That's gonna be.
I'm gonna
interesting.
enjoy that. Ooh,
Okay,
Dwarven Hammer.
Dwarven Hammer. When Dwarven Hammer enters the battlefield, you may pay 2. If you do, create a 2/1 red dwarf berserker hammer or creature token, then attach the Dwarven Hammer to it. So it gets +3. So basically,
like
for 5, you get a 5/1
Yes, a 5/1 with trample.
with
So
trample.
it definitely either trades with something or does 5 whole damage. And otherwise, 5 mana, you'd be spending 6 mana to just throw it on a creature that turn. Not that I don't
Right.
think you would do it in one turn, but
Yep.
definitely cool. I like it.
Okay. All right. And of course, if you had, with Halvar, you could just put it on anything for
Absolutely.
free.
But
All
if
right.
you pay the 2, you also get a 2/1 and then
Yeah.
can switch it over for free. So it's
Right.
nice.
All right. So our rare Blessing of Frost.
Ooh.
Distribute X +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the amount of snow mana spent to cast a spell. Then draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. That's a 4 casting cost.
Oh.
So basically, you get. I mean, you're gonna have 4 counter. You know, generally speaking, most likely, if you're playing your deck right, you should have maybe 4 counters to distribute.
Sure.
And so,
Well, 4 is the max you could have, right? But
4 max you can have, right? Yeah.
So let's say you don't play any snowlands in your deck, and you can't generate snow mana. You could still just have a bunch of 4 power or 5 power creatures and just spend 4 mana and draw a card for each.
Yeah.
So in Commander, for instance, this is going to be really good in those mono green decks that struggle to buy things like Sylvan Library,
Right.
but still need to draw cards.
Very cool.
I like it. And what was the Arctic
token
tree line?
Oh, Arctic Tree Line. Yeah. So it's the comes in the middle. It's tapped dual land.
I like it.
Green and white. So
I like that they give you enough dual lands to like actually make the deck a little more feasible. I like it.
And again, you got that Aurora Borealis kind of thing going on.
That was
That's
beautiful.
That is really nice.
I'm gonna try to look for that one in foil just to throw it in the binder.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, the last pack coming our way. All right, Craven Hulk.
Okay.
Battlefield Raptor. This is that one that Nick got like 4 of in his. So like if it was a sealed deck, this thing's flying first strike for 1 mana, and it's a 1/2 for 1 mana.
It's a lot for 1 mana.
Yeah. Berg Strider. It's me Strider.
Is it a snow creature too? Because that would really fit the.
It is. Well,
it's a snow creature. It
yeah.
is you.
It is me.
Look at you, you giant wizard.
I am a giant wizard. I'm a giant wizard. All right.
What was that draw card? That green draw card effect?
This one here's
Packmate. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. So that's important.
Foretell. So you can foretell it. For 2. So basically, it turns it from I don't know. You're still gonna have ramp and green, but it's a 3/3 for 4, or you can foretell it and then bring it out turn 3 for whatever.
2 and draw a card. So a 3/3 on turn 3 and drawing a card actually is pretty good and limited.
Yeah, and plus you still have a mana open for like I don't know, like an elf or something. I don't know.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Discwalk. And look at that freaking art.
What is that art?
Jarl of the Forsaken. Flash when Jarl of the Forsaken enters the battlefield, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. That was dealt damage turn. You can foretell it.
Oh, nice.
And you can foretell it.
I don't like that. It has flash anyways. So
yeah, it has flash anyways. But it's still like when you're talking about. It means a forecasting cost 3/2, but for foretell of 2, so you can basically like. Yeah, that's one thing I like about the foretell is like if it's early game, especially for your more expensive stuff. You know, early game, you don't have a whole lot going on. Maybe you didn't draw like something you could play on turn 2. You know, as long as you have the mana, you know, the 2, like, your mana isn't tapped. That is,
absolutely.
you can just throw it out and be okay. I'm gonna foretell this, and there's so many good foretell cards that it's gonna be difficult to judge like immediately like what you're foretelling. You can foretell anything, but again, this can come out like at any time and just be like done.
Another cool thing is that in this particular pack that I got, I pulled a lot of red, white, and black stuff that's very good.
Yeah.
So it could be very interesting to see how I build around that.
Okay, so Provoke the Trolls. Deals 3 damage to any target. If a creature is dealt damage this way, it gets +5/+0 until the end of turn. So it's a 4 casting cost lightning bolt, but I mean you can give your own creature. I mean it's interesting.
A little rough.
It's interesting.
I think it'd be cool to see it with like there was that green card. It was that 5 mana 5/4 that when it dies it gets you a 6 was it CMC or toughness creature to your hand. So you can swing with it, someone blocks
cost,
like chump blocks it with like a 1 or a 2 drop or like a 2 power, and then you can do this to that creature. Deal 3 damage to it, and then you get
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that because that's just a way to beef up your own creature. Especially if they're gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Beef up, you'd have to do this before damage is dealt, right? Obviously, before damage, and then you'd cast it, make it, turn it from they think they're gonna just kill some easy little 1/3 or whatever.
Sure,
or actually
yeah.
it'd be like a 1/4. It'd have to have at least 4
Yes.
power or toughness, and so then you can just bump it up and you're like, oh hi, I got
Right.
your creature, a little nice surprise. But still, four casting costs is a lot. But it's
definitely
essentially
not
it's
playable.
essentially just some creature control.
It is. If you kill something with 3 toughness or less, it's great for you.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, even on it's an instant, but even playing it on your turn, you kind of feel advantage because it's like, okay, kill a thing, and even if it does survive, say someone does a combat trick, I mean, do you get the I guess it's a combat trick. Never mind. But like, I mean, at the end of someone's turn, you just kill a thing. That can be pretty effective.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So I mean, it's usable. Maybe I don't know how much is gonna be used, but it's usable. Okay, so here we got another one of these non-volt slumber mound again for 6 mana. You can destroy target land and create a 4/4 green troll warrior with trample.
Really cool. So destroying a land in limited is pretty big because the difference between 4 and 5 can be quite a few percentage points, if you will, as far as drawing cards.
So, but it's really expensive because you have to add on top of the fact that it's almost 7 mana because you have to include this land plus 6 other mana. That is really expensive.
But you're doing 4/4.
Yeah, you get the 4/4 trample, you get destroy land. It's still really expensive.
It is expensive. But you destroy target land, which means that it can be any land, not just basic. Right. You get a 4/4 with trample, so you get a keyword on a 4/4 and destroy a land. And if your opponent is hoping to, for instance, untap with one of those other lands that we revealed earlier, the Rakdos one or the Orzhov one, you could be like, okay, well, I'm gonna get a 4/4 token with trample and get rid of your potential 4/4 flying vigilance angel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
but you'd have to be far ahead of your opponent, so I suppose that it's balanced.
Yeah, it'd be, I don't know, just I think that casting or the mana is just restrictive.
It is. If it was 2 red and 2 green, it would be a far more reasonable card.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, guys, again, let us know in the comments what you think. I think it's expensive. I think the ability. I think it's cool. I think what it does is really cool, but I mean, it's really expensive, and I think it'd be difficult to use.
I would agree with that too.
All right, here we got a boast card, Batter Shield Warrior. It's got a boast of 1 white and a colorless, and creatures control get +1/+1 till the end of turn. So it's a 2/2 for 3, and of course you have to attack. You have to attack with it for the boast to give her. So it's basically, if you use the ability, it's a 3/3. Yeah. It's a 3/3 for 3 if you're able to use the ability, and everything else gets +2 or +1/+1. There are cards where you can actually boast twice, but again, you still have to pay the cost twice. It's okay. I guess you're talking about like limited. It might be pretty decent. I don't know how much this would be used in constructed, but I mean, I don't know enough about all the cards available. But I
would say that multiple copies of this would be great.
Yeah.
But outside of limited, it's pretty useless.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. So here we go. The last RAR.
Oh, snap.
The World Tree.
Yeah, boy.
Great pull. Nick also got this one.
I'm excited for this.
What a great card. World Tree enters tapped. You can also tap for green mana. As long as you control 6 or more lands, you can all the lands can tap for any mana. And then, of course, that big one down that big old, what is that? 6. That's 10 casting or 10 mana cost.
Yes,
Sacrifice World Tree. Search your library for any number of God cards. Put them on the battlefield. Then shuffle your library.
Alrighty. As a commander player, I immediately thought Golos. So Golos is like this. I think it's like 5 to 7 mana casting cost for like 5/5. Enters the battlefield. Search your library for a land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. And then he has a Wooburg activated ability where you exile the top 3 cards of your library and you can cast them without paying their mana cost. Immediately thought about that. The World Tree. Being able to get any number of God cards. The God cards are very effective in Commander. Things like Perforos, Erebos, and Nylea. Pretty great cards. But there's also the multicolor ones. So it just depends on how you want to build. But I think Golos would be really great for the World Tree. And the World Tree entering tap doesn't hurt anybody. And you're going to ramp anyways. So I think I'm probably going to have to fit this in a 5-color deck at some point.
Yeah, that seems like it'd be a really, really cool card. And then we finish with the Volatile Fjord. Again, it's a blue and red tap card, and then that's here. All right. So before we get to our promo card, let's go ahead and just do final thoughts on what we've pulled, what stands out. We already know you're going to be using the World Tree
in Commander.
In
Yes,
Commander,
absolutely.
right? So what are you thinking about some of your other rares specifically? I mean, we could probably be here all day talking about uncommons and commons, but the rares specifically. What are your final thoughts?
So, Carter's Vicious Return and Glorious Protector. Can I see Glorious Protector one more time, just so I know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Alrighty, so Glorious Protector, not the one I was thinking of. I'm thinking of something else. But Carter's Vicious Return, super powerful. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that last ability of Chainer Nightmare Adept from Commander, which does something similar without the +1/+1 counter.
Yep.
So I really like that. I like that there's also damage and disruption involved, and it hits each player with that second chapter of that saga. So there is some potential synergy and application in Commander. As far as limited goes, I think this is a bomb card. You can, I'm not sure if there's other ways to like discard things from your hand, but like, you know, over the course of a game, you're gonna lose creatures.
Yeah.
And so Carter's Vicious Return is great. The 3 and a green distribute X +1/+1 counters and draw a card for each 4 power creature or more.
Yep.
Super cool. I don't know how much effectiveness it'll be in limited. I'm sure you'll have pretty high power amongst your bombs. I'm not sure how many you expect to have when you cast this, but this is really good for Commander as well. In mono green, where you want to try to keep a budget. Let's go ahead and fan those cards out one more time just to see. And then King Narfi's Betrayal. I think that that's a stellar card and is going to do some great things in limited. Again, each player mills 4, so cool for Commander, but in limited, 8 cards off the top total, and you can do whatever you want for the next 2 turns with them.
Right.
That's pretty game ending. That feels really powerful, and I'm looking forward to if I can even fit that in a deck. I mentioned that I want to play like some like white, red, black build potentially, but we'll see. I really like that card.
Like I said, I think this fits if you are playing black and blue. I think that fits in a lot of pretty much any Commander deck at that point.
It could be really good, yeah.
I mean, because that definitely. I mean, it's just an easy use. I'm really excited about the Calamity Bear. You know, obviously you want to build around the giants, but I think that's a really cool ability there.
Just 4 mana for a card that does 6 damage.
Right.
I mean, and that's attacking or blocking, so I like it.
All right, the moment of truth, the promo.
All right.
So we already know it's not a module card, so it's not Valky. It's not any of the guard cards.
Yeah.
But it could be something really cool. Let's see. Glorious Protector.
Oh, another one. Okay, so I'm definitely running white. I like it. Again, I like Glorious Protector. It's not the card I thought it was earlier when I was going to reference cards, but I do like this card. I like that the foretell cost is reasonable. I like that it has flash flying on its own, so it's very reminiscent of Restoration Angel, which was a massive splash in Modern, which means that this could potentially have a lot of application there too. You're welcome, Nick. And even in just limited, having a 3/4 flyer for 3 mana.
For 3 mana, yeah.
I
So
mean,
basically,
just talk about
turn
ending
3,
a game,
3, 4,
man.
or turn 3, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and
sure.
again, just protecting your stuff and getting a creature out of it. I mean, and then when this creature dies, that's another thing. So you can smash people's faces with this 3/4, but if you don't get rid of it, because it says until it leaves the battlefield.
Until it leaves the battlefield.
So even if you remove it, I mean, you have to chump block this thing in the air. Because if you don't, you give that player back all the things they exile with Glorious Protector, which in a great circumstance could be all the things that are going to kill you right after you get rid of it. So, I'm running white. Sorry, boys. I'm running white.
yeah, for sure. I think white in this set seems really powerful and limited, and so what we've seen. Of course, you already got Halvar.
Yes.
I mean, that again is going to be pretty big. But So yeah, guys, that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna do a final thoughts. I already let him do the final thoughts, so we're just gonna go ahead and end the video right here. Thank you again for watching my videos, supporting the channel, hitting that subscribe button. If you like the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Do it now. Anyway, also comment, hit those comments up. That's how we get, just between the likes and the comments, that's how we get these videos in front of more people and grow this community. And I really do appreciate all support. So guys, make sure you're hitting up those socials in the description. You should come join us on Discord. Let's get that all buzzing and going and stuff like that. And thank you so much for watching my videos once again. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time for another Magic the Gathering video.